Horizon Chess, UX, and this is USS Barb, the submarine that sank a train, by the channel The Fat Edition. Train of what? Yeah, a few years ago I would have been like, train, what do you mean, ground train? Train, how a submarine does that? But nowadays, soon I realized that train is just a thing that basically people are. There are road trains as well, apparently. You just attach things in a trucks and that's a train. Basically, there are multiple trailers is a train. So there is a ship train? I don't know. Because if it's a train that we know of, that's just weird. How the fuck submarine does that? It's a sank. How does a land vehicle sank? I don't know. My mind is not working right now. Yeah, it's a ship train basically. Yeah. USS Barb. Okay, I don't know much about different classes of submarines. I've been doing this like a military vehicle thing where it's very, really fun. Obviously Fat Nutrition introduced me to all these things, and since then I've been watching many different channels like Mustard, Task and Purpose, Laser Pig now, right? Many different channels like that. Something engineering. I forgot the name. Yeah. So all this is just great, but there isn't specific classes of like submarines that I know of. Like there is they given titles to these classes basically. I don't know what that is. So which type of submarine is this? Is this a nuclear submarine, right? Or is this like some basic one? I don't know. Is that a basic sub? What does that mean, basic? It's like basic assault rifle. Assault rifle is assault rifle. Alright, let's watch one. Remember, people flag medics and subscribe there. That way I can, know which type of videos to react to more, and you can help this channel by helping the algorithm and things. And yeah, let's watch it.
Today we're talking about the USS Barb. Commissioned in 1942, it is a Gato-class diesel-electric-powered submarine, serving in a total of...
Already, what is it? What class?
Barb. Commissioned in 1942, it is a Gato-class diesel-electric-powered submarine. Serving in a total of 12 war patrols, it is credited with the sinking of 17 enemy ships. Amongst those ships was a frigate, a cruiser, and an entire aircraft.
17! That's a big number. Like, this is not a video game. In real life, a ship sinking a lot of ships is like not that thing, right? 17, just one submarine doing that. I'm guessing that's a really good number. Like how many frigates and basically warships, how averagely how much ships they sink? Like 5, 10, by the 10 they'll be like, oh, this is a legendary ship, right? I think that must be the case.
Carrier. And if you don't know what any of that means, they're really big ships. Big ships means a big deal. Science. Here's the thing though, that 17, that's just the actual enemy navy that it sunk. If you want to see the actual damage they did, we have to check out their battle flag. With the exception of a couple ribbons up top, every patch on this flag represents a different enemy objective that the USS Barb deleted.
Japan?
For example, each one of these ones represents a different enemy merchant ship. And each one of these represents 7 smaller enemy merchant ships. Look, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that the USS Barb fucked up more enemy infrastructure than Godzilla. Don't take my word for it though, even the enemy's own records indicated that the USS Barb was credited.
Is this their flag? Oh god, I love it. Look at that. Dynamites in a belt, fish like, come here.
It was sinking the most tonnage of their ships. Tonnage! Do you have any idea how bad you have to be getting your ass beat to start keeping track of it by the ton? And all this happened before it got out of hand. Cue this.
Why are you talking ton, Federation? I thought you were doing like metric.
Man, Eugene Lucky Flucky. He was the commander of the USS Barb in the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th War Patrol. What's important to understand is a commander of a submarine at this point in time was only allowed to serve in a maximum of 4 war patrols, because the Navy believed that any more than that, they would either become too cautious or too reckless. So on the USS Barb's 11th War Patrol, which was also Flucky's 4th and presumably his last war patrol, the USS Barb and her crew, under the command of Lucky Flucky, decided, fuck it, we're just gonna revolutionize warfare for fun. You see, up until this point, submarines really just lied and waited for an enemy boat to sail by, and then they'd sink it with a torpedo. Flucky, though, decided that on his last war patrol, he was going to go out on the offensive. And to do this, Flucky decided that they would utilize a new strategy that he liked to call maximum harassment, which is just a fancy way of saying, hold my periscope, because shit's about to get real. They literally started driving through the enemy. And on January 28th, 1945, they would sail the USS Barb through...
What the fuck is this? USS Barb, rams are burning... Something Japanese. It says Japanese, right? Okay, yeah. It just ran like, okay, how strong are submarines? Obviously it's submarines, so it has to be somewhat strong just to withstand the pressure, right? The water. So I'm guessing it's so strong, it can just ram ships and just destroy them and walk away. This is the best Black Flag game I've ever seen. There you go, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Let's ram that shit.
through a shallow minefield into an enemy harbor with 30 enemy ships in it. Firing a total of 8 torpedoes at the enemy ships, he would break the record for the most enemy tonnage sunk in a day. They would then turn around and escape completely unharmed. This was considered to be the most successful submarine raid of all time at this point. And if you don't know, submarining is called the silent service because they do not talk about what they do. This was so impressive that it became headline news. For this, Flucky was awarded the Medal of Honor,
Look at it.
which brings a perfect close.
Look at that face. Hey, neighbor. Do you want a pretzel? This face doesn't say that I'm gonna kill you, but look at that. Just it's so good.
To an epic career of commanding submarines, right? Nah. Lucky Flucky would then request to be able to have a 5th war patrol with the USS Barb. A request that they granted him despite their fears that he would become either too conservative or too reckless. Once they granted him this 5th patrol, he immediately requested that the USS Barb be fitted with rocket launchers. Gotta set a tone. Which Uncle Sam actually agreed to because fucking America, making the USS Barb the first submarine to ever be equipped with rockets and to have the capability of attacking a target on land. The harassment just got more maximum. So under the...
Yeah, I still believe that Pentagon will be just like, just shuffling paper, just like, I'm fucking bored. And somebody just comes, I want rocket launchers submarines. Nah, that's my man right there. Just give him rocket launchers. I want to see this. Fit cameras there. I want to see what happens. I mean, these are the people who created that basically a Fat Man, right? What Fallout Fat Man, right? That's an actual thing that is inspired by. There was a mobile nuke launcher because why not? Right? It's not like a plane has to fly by and run away because of the just devastation a nuke would cause. How about we make smaller ones and fit it in a launcher? There you go.
Command of Lucky Flucky, the USS Barb would go out on its 12th and final war patrol. They would utilize their new rocket launchers to do shore bombardments, much like larger warships. They destroyed multiple enemy factories and other objectives, becoming the first submarine in history to destroy enemy objectives on land, paving the way for what is now modern-day submarine warfare. Medal of Honor revolutionized submarine warfare twice. Still not enough, though. Back to the battle flag. Okay, I told you each one of these patches means...
Like I said, revolutionize. How do you feel by revolutionizing warfare twice? What do you mean by revolutionize? You just did I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna revolutionize 20 times if I want.
It sunk something, right? Did anybody notice there's a fucking train on it? July 23rd, 1945. The USS Barb and her crew decide that spawn killing supply ships as they leave the harbor was for casuals. They're gonna put a stop to this in the loading screen. They're gonna play a little game of fluck around and find out with the train before it can even drop off its cargo to the ships. But there's a catch. Getting close enough to use the rocket launchers will almost certainly get them caught. So they hatch a plan that they're going to send a small group of men ashore on a little raft. These men would then booby-trap the train tracks with a 55-pound scuttling charge, blowing up the train. And if you don't know, a scuttling charge is an explosive that a ship has on it in case it needs to sink itself to prevent it from falling into enemy hands.
Yeah.
Big, very big boom. But there's a problem with that. To detonate it, they can't use a timer because the timing of the train is unpredictable. And they're not willing to leave a man behind to set it off manually. So they seek the help of the man that I can only assume is the most beautiful, slightly alcoholic, broom-fearing man on the USS Barb, the electrician. And he's able to cook up a homemade pressure switch that they can put underneath the railroad tie so when the train drives by, it'll put enough pressure that it'll detonate the scuttling charge. So the small team goes out, makes it to land, sets the charge, becoming the first and only Americans to actually officially invade the main islands of Japan during World War II. They then get back in the raft and head back to the USS Barb, and the train comes by. The men reported that the engine of that train went 200 feet in the air, marking the first and only flight test of a freight train. Thomas the train engine would then find out that gravity's a motherfucker, get bitch slapped with the planet before tumbling into the ocean, officially giving the USS Barb bragging rights of being the only naval vessel to sink a freight train.
What the fuck, man? Oh, this is that Red Dead Redemption level of shit. I can just hear the music in the background. Oh god, just taking the raft there, putting the explosive, putting a timer on, just looking from the distance, all the way there it goes, and now it's in the water. Yeah, this is so good.
But the best bragging right of all is the fact that under the command of Eugene Lucky Flucky, not a single sailor was killed or seriously injured under his command during his time on the USS Barb. The USS Barb would then be given to the Italian Navy where it served until 1972. It was then sold for scrap for a price of $100,000. Because shitty decisions. Speaking of shitty decisions, there's a bunch of other websites that are...
That is criminal. I mean, with that kind of history, they could have made it basically museum. If not museum, actually, sold it to some fucking millionaire for tons of money at least. They can just put it somewhere, right? There are way too many people, just like military nerds, that are millionaires and billionaires. Could have sold someone like that, like as a relic type of thing.
are now stealing my shirt designs, but if you actually want to support me, the only place you can get my shirts is from my merch store at thefatelectrician.com or from Bunker Branding. Anyone else is just trying to steal my shit. The highly requested USS Texas design and the most requested fur musket design go live on April 1st. That is all.
Oh, there you go, we go. USS Barb, the insane submarine doing insane shit. From the guy who looks like it's wearing plaid shirt and just being your neighbor. Howdy, neighbor. Just like one of the most deadliest thing of all time. God. He's like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. You know what, people? Just take a raft, go to land, put charges that blow up that train. Because why the fuck not? Are we submarine supposed to do submarine shit? Just like, submarine is just a tool at this point. We do whatever the fuck we want. If they, I can envision if the wars drug out a lot, right? I can envision. It's just like, you know what? Tie a ship, like try a frigate behind my submarine. If I need it, I'll use it. Type of shit. Because why not? Man, it's like, that was USS Barb, the submarine that sank a train by channel Fat Electrician. If you like my reaction, subscribe and I'll see you next time.